Since it's 3 days before Christmas, I'm going to make this video how to not get fat. Or maybe how to not gain weight over the holidays. Most people do gain weight, I would guess. That's because they're doing everything wrong. They've been tricked by the diet industry. Keeps on selling those books. What do people do on the holidays? They eat a lot of bad food. I heard somewhere that it's because there's just so much food and that's all people do on the holidays is eat. Where did I hear that?
There'll be turkeys for basting and stuffing for tasting and giblets and gravy will flow. There'll be cookies that Mom baked and leftover fruitcake.
With lines like that, I think it's good to look at anecdotal evidence.
Hey, wait a minute, I know there's food everywhere, eggnog flowing out of fountains. It's like one big bar mitzvah. But listen, you don't have to do that.
I eat around the clock, and I do this all year round, and I'm thin. Styrations, leanness. Okay, that's the first step there. It's not just what people are doing on the holidays. It's the fact they're doing something different. They're suddenly eating a lot of food where they might have been watching their calories through the rest of the year. Trying to restrict your calorie intake through the year is the biggest problem, I would say, for why people continue to get fat and to not lose weight. Because that's an easy thing for the diet industry to say, and it works for them. It keeps business going, and it makes sense on the surface. That's the missing piece, is that eating a lot of calories don't make you fat. It's what you're eating a lot of that makes you fat. People aren't eating natural foods. They're eating foods that combine carbs and fat, which don't go together in nature. That's a big one. But there's plenty of other ones. Make sure you eat breakfast, but make sure that you've had, I'd say at least a liter of water, 1 or 2 glasses, 20 minutes before breakfast. Breakfast should be high in calories, yeah. You want to fuel your life, fuel your exercise. It's important what the breakfast is. Should it be a bunch of fat? Should you have a bowl of nuts? No one does that. Of course, a lot of people have bacon and eggs, which is virtually the same thing. And these are the fat people. Now, what I've been doing for breakfast for the last 19 years, I've been eating fruit for breakfast. I just happen to always have fruit laying around. Here's a little more. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I just had oranges for breakfast. But that's my first half breakfast. I'm going to have this next. Then, next best thing is grains. And I don't mean take a piece of toast, put some butter on it, or whatever. Think about all the things people would put on bread. And isn't it high in fat? Yes. Meanwhile, 1 piece of bread is just not nearly enough. You should eat at least 2,000 calories a day, so divide that in third, and you should be having at least 600 calories. Now, I don't recommend bread, but a little fruit, and then a half hour later, then you can have some kind of cereal, rice, millet, corn, quinoa. Yeah, I've eaten popcorn for breakfast. Yeah, that was years ago. Now, when it comes to the family gatherings, that's where it all goes down. That pun was not intended. I do that a lot. That's where it goes down. You should probably not snack, because think about the snacks. It's usually high fat, like nuts. Now, nothing wrong with that, but let's say you have nuts. A few minutes later is the meal. Well, those nuts weren't a snack, because fat takes 3 hours to digest. They're still sitting in there trying to digest. Meanwhile, the meal comes in. Carbs. Well, if you want a snack, have some fruit. Then the meal comes in. And here's your options. You got your corn, potatoes, yams, sweet potatoes, yucca root, rice, millet, quinoa, beans. There's like 6 kinds of beans. And you want to keep active. We are physical beings. You want to keep it in use. You want to keep it working right. Keeps the metabolism where it should be. So not just for burning fat. I would say it helps digestion, and then won't get stored as fat. Don't give your body any reason to store fat. Give it all the carbs it wants. All the calories it wants. You should only eat fat once a day, and it should be at dinner time. The holidays and food are not something to be afraid of. You just want to make sure that you're surrounded by the good foods instead of the bad foods. You want to buy enough whole foods. You want to, when you walk into the supermarket, you want the first place you go to be over on the side. You want to go off to the side where the produce is. The first aisle should not be where the Entenmann's chips are. And that's like going into the liquor and wine aisle first. You know anyone who does that? Maybe alcoholics. Yes. That's what's on their mind. So by the time you get to the bad aisles, your cart will be pretty filled up and you won't buy as much junk. So have yourself a whole food, high carb Christmas. And a stress-free New Year.
There'll be after meal dosing and arteries closing, cholesterol level